Alright, another upgrade that I did to my Nissan Frontier was the pop lock for the tailgate. As you can see that right now the tailgate's locked. And if I hit my unlock button twice, it unlocks the tailgate. Still unlocked. I can lock my tailgate, and now it's locked and it won't open. I'm going to go ahead and unlock it and show my plywood carrier. I'm going to go ahead and fold back my cover. Now that my bed cover is out of the way, you can see the plywood supports that I have installed in the bed of the truck. The first support is a 2x4 with a 2x4 bolted up underneath. Gives it stability so it doesn't bow in the middle as 2x4s tend to do. In the back there is a 2x6. That doesn't necessarily need that extra support in the back, but that's where the plywood would sit. And I've constructed this flip out support similar to the bed extender that comes with these Nissan pickups with the rail track system. So this support system that I built for the plywood uses, as you can see right here, uses carriage bolts that lock into the supports for the main tailgate extender package. So I can just flip this out and I'm ready to support a sheet of plywood. So with this flipped out like this, you can see it's going to give support for the plywood is going to stick out maybe 12 inches past this support, and it's going to be able to lay flat all the way to the front of the bed. It has these support legs in the front and on the sides. These support legs will support the weight of the plywood on top, and it has additional legs on either side here, and you can see the carriage bolt locks into this rail system that comes with the bed extender. So I have the carriage bolt that slides into that slot like the stock bed extender. These 2x4s sit on the edge of the bed, so there's your support there. I've got a 2x4 here that I trimmed down. I trimmed about an inch off of that so it would clear where the holes would need to be drilled for the carriage bolts. I've got everything screwed and glued so it's nice and solid. And I added this extra little foot in the front so I can rotate this out. So when I flip it back into the bed, it has something to rest on. And it sits up straight and level. If not, it would tilt down too low and it would end up hitting the tailgate when you closed it. But right now it doesn't hit. There's enough space there and there's enough clearance for my bed cover to close without hitting the legs. So again, all I have to do is drop the tailgate down, flip this out. It sits nicely on here. Flip this leg down, and I'm ready to put my 8-foot sheet of plywood up, and I'm ready to haul. The way I got my measurements to make sure that the flip out bed extender for the plywood was the right dimensions, I used a piece of 2x4. I ran the piece of 2x4 to the back two supports to make sure everything was level. So as I was measuring, I would measure from the tailgate up to the bottom of the 2x4, and that gave me the measurement for my leg, so my leg was the right length. And I did the same back here. I measured from the bed up to the bottom of the 2x4, and that gave me the measurement for the leg support on the back end. So that makes it nice and level. And you can see that with that, this is a 8-foot long piece of 2x4. So with it all the way back and touching the back of the bed by the cab, you can see that only about 14 inches of the sheet of plywood is going to extend past your tailgate. And you can put a flag back here, and that's going to provide you plenty of support for plywood, but also for sheetrock. As easily as sheetrock breaks, this should support it well enough that you can get it home without any damage. In addition to that, I've added some nifty strap hooks. You can see right here, I took a angle bracket, anything you can get from Home Depot, and I cut it down and I drilled holes in it so that I can support the tie down hooks. And you can see it butts right up against the edge of this latch for the tailgate, and it's right here, so it's not gonna, with the pull of the strap, won't cause this thing to spin. It's bolted down nice and tight, so the latch for the tailgate stays intact, and this hook doesn't have to be removed. This hook doesn't have to be removed in order to close your tailgate. I'll go ahead and flip this back up. Let you see this. Right there you can see the hook, and I can close. There's enough clearance there that I can snap the tailgate shut, and that hook remains in place. So when I open the tailgate, that tie down hook remains in place, doesn't impact anything, and I can get my tie strap hook in here, and that would allow me to tie down the sheet of plywood, just an extra tie down. Here's a little bit closer view of that bracket that I made. You can see this is the bed latch, and what I did was I just took this 12 millimeter bolt out. I used a cutoff wheel to cut this angle, and I just bent it on my vise. I drilled a hole here for the hook, and I expanded the hole here so the bolt would fit through it. It's nice and secure, it doesn't move. Allows me to put my hook through here. And so that's going to be a secure point, tie down point. And then, like I said, when you close the bed, that bracket stays in place, but it doesn't hit anything, so it can stay permanently attached. And then you have a tie down point whenever you need it. I do have my my rail hooks here as well that will allow me to run a strap around the edge of the plywood to keep it from sliding out the back of the bed. Pretty simple design, didn't take me that long to build, and it's very handy for hauling sheetrock around, sheetrock or plywood, full 4x8 sheets. With this down, I can even have the bed cover folded down and in place, and I can still fit my sheets of plywood in there with the tailgate open. I do plan on painting all of this black so that it blends in with the bed, and I think it'll give it a nice look as well. Okay, here I am at the local big box hardware store, testing out the maiden voyage of my plywood hauling system for my Nissan. You see I have the cables, the straps to my hooks on the end. So I've got one strap going across the back so it doesn't try to lift off as I'm driving. And then I have another strap going from the Utilitrack system underneath the sheet and then back to the other side so the sheet of plywood doesn't slide out. I have my cover folded up and strapped down, and I have the middle and end supports across the bed so the sheet of plywood fits nicely. All I need is a little red flag to put on the back, and I should be good to go. I also wanted to mention I made it home safely. Cargo's still intact. I rode with my bed cover rolled up, but I can close my bed cover and still be able to haul the lumber, plywood, whatever with this rail system. So there we go. Works perfectly.